Although Made in China is globally known, the Chinese Communist Party, or CCP, is now trying to convince Chinese people that foreign products are not any better than domestic products. The metaphor it uses is, the moon in foreign countries is not any rounder than the moon in China. In the recent regulatory storm launched by the Chinese government, the CCP has also cracked down on international brands along the way. Some have been singled out and criticized by the official media in China, while others have received fines from the Chinese authorities. Let's take a look at which international brands have made the Communist Party's list. The first one is Canada Goose from Canada. In June 2021, the Shanghai market regulator fined Canada Goose's Chinese subsidiary 450,000 RMB, or US 70,000, accusing it of deceiving and misleading consumers by claiming to use the highest grade and warm Hutterite down, when in fact, most of the products were made of other materials. The CCP's media, People's Daily, published an article on September 9 saying, "If you make money from the Chinese, you have to abide by the Chinese law. Canada Goose is guilty of misrepresenting its goods or services, deceiving and misleading consumers, and deserves to be punished." In addition, Economic Daily, which belongs to the State Council of the Chinese government, published a commentary on September 8, saying, "The moon will not be fuller outside of China, and the down jacket abroad will not be warmer." With the central-level media taking the lead, more Chinese media outlets have joined in the criticism of Canada Goose. Radio Free Asia interviewed a Chinese figure familiar with the high-end brand market, who said that this was mainly due to the excessive publicity of the Canada Goose importer, not the fault of the Canada Goose parent company. Canada Goose in Canada will not promote like this. Bloomberg points out that the tensions between China and Canada continue to rise with the Meng Wanzhou case. Since Meng was detained in December 2018, former Canadian diplomat Michael Kovrig and businessman Michael Spavor have also been detained in China, with Spavor sentenced to 11 years in prison in August 2021. It's thus not hard to understand the CCP punishing a Canadian brand in the midst of a regulatory storm. The Chinese market is the primary sales territory for Canada Goose down jackets. Earlier in 2021, there were media reports that Canada Goose stores in Shanghai were overcrowded. Those who wanted to shop needed to queue for about 2 hours, and there was no guarantee that they would be able to get the items they wanted. Canada Goose official WeChat social media page shows that Canada Goose currently has 20 stores in China since it opened its first store in 2018. This number has far exceeded the number of stores in Canada, making it the largest in the world. The earnings report showed that Canada Goose's direct sales in China rose by 101.4% in the fourth quarter of the fiscal year 2021, with the expansion of stores in the Chinese market playing a pivotal role. In the first quarter of the fiscal year 2022, Canada Goose's direct sales in China rose by 188.7%. Obviously, Canada Goose, which expects to make money in China, does not intend to irritate the CCP. Toronto-based Canada Goose issued a statement saying that a textual error had occurred earlier this year on its store operating on the Chinese e-commerce site Tmall, but that it had been corrected. The same regulatory body in Shanghai also issued a fine of US 70,000 to Yakult, a probiotic beverage from Japan. Yakult's official Weibo page announced the news late on September 7. The reason for the fine is that it's an illegal act to advertise in the middle of an outbreak that probiotics play an important role in the prevention and treatment of the new coronavirus. Yakult issued an apology at the same time on Weibo. Moreover, the US brand Safeguard was accused of misleading consumers by advertising a product that claimed to remove 99% of bacteria, but didn't. The US brand Budweiser was accused of false advertising because the ingredients were all artificially processed and not natural as advertised. Jack Wolfskin, a German professional outdoor brand, was accused of advertising some of its ordinary jackets as assault jackets and selling them at assault jacket prices. Each of the three brands were fined RMB 200,000 or US 30,000. In addition, the recent Magnum ice cream from the UK, Häagen-Dazs ice cream from the US, and t-shirts produced by Dior affiliates from France were all carefully examined by the regulatory authorities in Shanghai. They found various details of irregularities and issued comparatively small fines. The Shanghai branch of Sweden's H&M was fined 260,000 RMB or US 40,000 in August for deceiving and misleading consumers. Earlier, in 2021, Chinese consumers launched a boycott of H&M over a statement expressing concerns about forced labor in Xinjiang. Perhaps these practices have had some effect in undermining national confidence in international brands. In the midst of the criticism of Canada Goose, China's official media is advocating that its citizens wear the domestic brand Bozideng. However, the Chinese public is not so easily fooled these days. On an online article titled, Bozideng versus Canada Goose, what are the chances of winning? An internet user commented, "This is the same as Baidu versus Google, Huawei versus Apple, which is a big joke. Have I compared my wallet size with Wang Zichang, the son of China's former richest man, or my height with Yao Ming, the basketball giant in China? Isn't it like an ant trying to topple a giant tree?" An ant trying to topple a giant tree is a classic phrase from an ancient Chinese book, and the second half of the phrase is, one ridiculously overrating one's own strength. During the 70 years of the CCP rule, the quality of products made in China has not only worried overseas consumers, but has also caused an almost complete loss of confidence among Chinese people.
今天在市场买了6个蟹，看看里面是什么。中国人都害死中国人了。你看一下，我一只一只打开给你们看。你看，全都是胶，怎么吃啊？全都是胶，怎么吃啊？真的是不用日本侵略了，都是胶，自己人害死自己人了。再打开另外一只，还是热的，你看，你看怎么吃？怎么吃？没吃过螃蟹的你要记住啊，有这种胶的白色的捏都捏不烂的，小心一点啊！大家转发出去啊！看，全都有了。
真的什么狗屁都不是。你看，这就用用腾讯视频开视频，这就卡成这样。看点的有声音，听到声音没？它不动啊，没任何卵用啊！它吹什么吹的？哎，什么吊打特斯拉，真的，你这个玩意儿，哎，也就这玩意儿了，你知道吧？30万块钱，他就买块电池，完了，然后他的电池还不耐用，他就买个壳子，你知道吗？比Model 3要大，可是他的座椅比Model 3硬，这什么玩意儿？跟这座椅硬的，什么Napa真皮，什么狗屁不是，你知道吗？就一坑爹玩意儿，你知道吗？坑国人钱的，完了是人家特斯拉的话是能卖到全世界，你小鹏也就是坑中国人，再说个难听的话是也就坑一下，完了然后东三省的。
In order to promote the patriotic spirit of the Chinese people, the CCP responded to the appeal of the Little Pink, the Communist Party lovers, and closed the Japanese street in Dalian on September 1st. The project, which cost Chinese investors a whopping 6 billion RMB or US 930 million to build and was said to be the most prominent Japanese street in China, was forced to close after only 1 week of operation. It is still unknown how the Chinese government will deal with the Chinese investment group's 930 million US dollars investment in the entire finished construction. It also seems improbable that they will be blown up like China's notorious unfinished buildings. In In the same province, 6 hours away, in Changchun, the city police and a local group called the Red Song Society joined forces on the streets to support banning Japanese-style streets. Japan and the US are two countries that can be hated in the CCP's propaganda. But Beijing is more cautious when it comes to the US, especially during the renewed dialogue between President Biden and Chinese President Xi Jinping on September 9. Chinese media recently reported that Beijing is expected to be the hottest tourist destination for Chinese residents during the upcoming Mid-Autumn Festival, which falls on September 21. The grand opening of the Universal Beijing Resort is said to occur by then, and is expected to garner significant attention. Located in Beijing's eastern district of Tongzhou, the venue includes Universal Studios theme park, Universal City Walk Beijing, and 2 hotels, along with 37 recreational facilities, themed attractions, and dozens of food and beverage outlets.
期待的，因为以前也去过美国的那个环球嘛，然后现在在北京这边家门口就能够过来玩了，还是挺开心的。没想到这么多人，真的是出乎意料，我觉得。
我们现在看到，环球影城周边的酒店的预订量也有一个急速的增加，机票的搜索量也有一个跃升。现在看，中秋节和国庆节期间进京的航线比较好一点的，还是以广深、成都、杭州还有西安这几个城市进京的游客为主。